Hello, everyone. It's October 26th, 2021. I'm still here. I thought I think what this has all been leading up to is I want to tell the story of how I got started with the Lee Summit Farmers Market that led to other farmers markets and led to the Little Muddy Farm. I've showed a lot of pictures and I think a few videos, but no one really knows what in the world was I thinking when I decided to start with a couple of three guys that are probably way gone by now because they were like 20 and 30 years older than me at the time, which means they're my age now. So if you don't see me here, there, or in the air, you know where I went. So I'm doing this the old-fashioned way. I still like free. That Zoom deal was pretty nice, so remember, you can still email me at thelittlemuddyfarm@gmail.com. And all I got to do is subscribe, and we do a live stream. So let's talk about how the Little Muddy Farm came about. Since that would be the first question, if I was a subscriber, I would ask, what in the world made you think you could grow stuff? I mean, this is the guy that in college back in the 70s, because I had always had a garden, raised rabbits and chickens and eggs and stuff to sell to the neighbors. Just because we were in rural, not urban, Independence, Missouri, which means we had a good half-acre lot by the time we'd lived through all these poop holes. Which meant by the time I was 11, we had gone from, at the time we weren't flipping houses, we were building barracks, basically, and sell them, and somebody'd come in and do the interior work and resell them. And I guess it's because in between the different neighborhoods I grew up on and different weekends and different months and different years, I remembered that, have to include my great Aunt Laura, born 1887, a good Mennonite girl. Her husband died in 1917 at this fort. Let's see, because this video will flip. In Kansas from pneumonia. And they shipped him home and they buried him, and I know where he's buried and I know the whole story, but the basics of the story is this. I always thought her stories were very interesting. Because when I go down there to visit, they had just gotten electricity. Run one light bulb in 2 rooms. I guess they were doing the minimum payment. We all might be. If you listen to the current chitter. I was going to say chit-chats, but it's just a bunch of scuttlebutt. We don't know what's going on. just get or keep your gear together and keep it clean and try to occupy yourselves. So how do ships full of soldiers that are 10 times overloaded keep their poop together? They get loaded. Gamble, share pictures, talk about girls. Oh, that's right, that was before the last century. I always get all my pronouns and preverbs and proverbs and adverbs all messed up. So what does this have to do with how the Little Muddy Farm came to be about? And this may be my introductory. I'm going to do a series of these, and then I'm going to put them all together and do the clip-clop Amish drive-by shooting. Clip-clop, clip-clop, poop, 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 poop. As in fast-forward clip-clops. They do love their horses. Yeah, I'm taking a pause. See, I can cut these things out when I do my final documentary. Well, let's start at the beginning. 12 years old. I got my great aunt living with us. We just built a house. And one day my dad hires somebody to plow up a quarter of that quarter acre or half acre. I don't know. I trust and tell you this. It's a long ways and a long day when it gets you and the hoe going one way and you and the hoe coming back the other way. And this was, I don't know, probably about junior high school. I was at my growing stage. I hadn't quite expanded. I was exploding, waiting for the expansion. You know what I mean. Many of us are still a little overweight and hoping we'll get taller. But she showed me how to put it in a garden. Does anybody know how to put it in a garden? Well, I'll tell you how. Not the way my dad did it. He came in, hired somebody to plow it up, rototill it, and there it is. Just put your seeds down there, run a string down, and make sure it's a good straight rows. I've always said you can grow more vegetables in a crooked row than you can in a straight row. So that year we didn't grow much of anything but weeds. And so years later, when I had my ground, which for those of you who watched me in the early years, the guy that came in and bought all that property, which I'm not upset that he did because I was getting too old and too single to do it by myself. Of course, he took the best land, but those buildings that I built, somebody recognized them, and they're making some pretty good money. And for those of you who watch and never make a comment, I sold him the land, but I never sold him the rights to the well. there's a well on that piece of property that I own, free and clear. Goes down 660 yards. Because, it's right on the little muddy creek. So I knew there'd be water there. You just had to go lower than the creek bed. Oh no, we're getting into the 11-minute mark and I haven't even said why I chose that name. It's because of a dream. Young men will see visions and old men will see dreams, and pharmacia is sorcery, and if you need to do a pill to get a vision, well, you may need to check in with a friend of mine. But anyway, I was involved with doing the lawn care and the tree care, and always been into Aggie stuff. And one day, while lying on my bed, sound asleep, I had a dream. Disney would be proud. Oh, that's another story. I met the teacher that had a fling with. Well, that's another story. And so in the dream, because it's not really a dream unless you wake up. Oh no, I froze up! Part 2 coming up.